welcome to the first, very first streetcar ride on the President Conference cars of the TTC on St. Clair. So this is, you're making history right now, folks. Just think, you're the very first of passengers.
I actually first rode a PCC on St. Clair from St. Clair West Station to St. Clair Station and back. And although I mainly remember riding them on the Harbourfront line, where 19 of these cars were rebuilt in the late 80s and early 90s.
They were going to close this line down, and he and a bunch of TTC advocates, along with some city councilors, said there is no way we're going to get rid of the streetcar on St. Clair. And now people look back on that decision from all over North America, saying that was the right call, and that's why we still have a streetcar here on St. Clair, and why we don't have a streetcar on Yonge Street going all the way up to Barrie. That's how big the streetcar system was in days gone by. Someone asked, what does PCC stand for? We have Mike Filey here. He's a Toronto historian. He knows more about the TTC than almost anyone except Steve Monroe or Adam Giambrone. So, what does the PCC mean?
It's run by the Loblaws Company. No, that's President's Choice. Actually, it's pretty close. It's PCC stands for President's Conference Committee. Now, who were those presidents and what was the committee? The presidents were the presidents of the major transportation companies across North America, including the TTC had a representative. They convened a conference, at which time they concluded they needed a new type of streetcar to get rid of the wooden cars, the old steel Peter Witt cars, some of you may remember, very inefficient. People stopped using them in great numbers, and so they came up with this modern type of vehicle. Now remember, 1938, this was the class type of vehicle. You look at it today and you say, oh, isn't it quaint? But in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, in fact, up until we acquired the CLRV in 1979, this was the class type of transit vehicle operated on electricity.
And we're going to invite him to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, but I'm going to make sure that he talks about the next generation. So we're on the PCC. The cars tomorrow will be the CLRVs, and in a few years the brand new Bombardier streetcars are coming. So I'm going to ask him to talk about that and anything else he wants.
Well, Joe, thank you very much. It's very exciting. This has been a long time coming, as I think everyone here on St. Clair knows, and it's very exciting that tomorrow regular service resumes on 5:15 a.m. So for anybody who wants to get up a little early on a Sunday, you can be on the first car out. I recognize a few people here who actually might do that. But for the people who want to get up a little later, of course, they'll be running from December 20th on, and it's very exciting. Joe talks about the next generation of streetcars. We're here, and Mike was talking about the PCCs, which at the time were the most modern cars around. We've of course placed the order for the new streetcars, $1.2 billion order for 204 new light rail vehicles. They'll be about a little over twice as long as this streetcar, and instead of climbing up the stairs, you'll be able to walk straight on, and if you're in a wheelchair or have a stroller, you won't have to carry it up some stairs. And of course, on a day like today, we're not as concerned, but come summer, we'll be very excited to see that they're air conditioned and very much more comfortable ride. And the first ones arrive as prototypes in 2011, and we begin the large order in 2012. So it's all about generational change, and this streetcar, well, not our first TTC streetcar, that was the Peter Witt, but we're sort of going through history here, and it's very exciting. And we, of course, on Monday, I can tell you we'll have a big announcement out on Shepherd for the construction of the new LRT out on Shepherd, which started October 5th, and it's the formal groundbreaking. So it's the next generation of light rail going all across Toronto, not just here on St. Clair, but indeed from Scarborough to Etobicoke, North York. It's the real expansion of the TTC, long time in coming and very exciting. So Joe, thanks very much for all your work on this. You've been a tireless advocate, and I'm just glad we got it open today.
Thank you, Adam.
United